Brought to you by Podcast City Network. Interviewing all your favorite deathmatch superstars. 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 Deathmatch rock songs. Deathmatch rock songs. Deathmatch rock songs. Deathmatch rock songs. Deathmatch rock songs.
Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. And tonight, my guest is Indy pro wrestler Cyrus DeVille, and we're going to be talking to him and see what's going on and what he's up to. And he's been at the H2O's Subterranean Volume 3 taping deathmatch show, and he's making his way in the world of deathmatch wrestling as well. So let's see what he's up to, and much more, fans. Tune in right now. Good evening, Cyrus, and how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm just still fighting a cold that I've had for quite a while, and it's just not going away, man. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's actually quite a few people that I know that are having a cold right now. I think it's the changing of the weather and whatnot.
You know what? It probably is. Also, I was, a couple weeks back, I was in Colorado for my uncle's funeral, so I'm wondering if, the altitude, difference in coming back here, it's the weather change, but, it could be other things, too. I'm outdoors all day in garbage trucks, too, so I could catch something from somewhere,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hear you on that one.
But what's going on with you in the world of wrestling these days, man? How you doing?
Right now, right now in my personal world, I'm sitting outside my apartment in my car to get some quiet so I can talk to you.
There you go.
And as far as wrestling goes, this Saturday I'll be in, I believe it's Brookfield, Ohio for Real Shoot Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
Me and my tag team partner, AJ Spectre, are going for the RSW Tag Team Championships.
Oh, man, I wish you guys luck. I wish you luck on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it should be good. It's me, us, the Elements, Chaos Theory, and the Gymnasty Boys in a 4-way.
Ooh, the Gymnasty Boys. They're always something in a match. They're great talent altogether, Seeing them a lot.
Oh, they're very good.
I know.
Very good. Very good.
But, yeah, I'm going to have to look that. I'm going to have to check that promotion out later online. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, no, they just had their, we were just a part of their 1-year anniversary on this past Saturday in Fairmont, West Virginia. That's where it's based out of.
Oh, cool.
And, it's definitely something that seems to be on the rise, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Who else is on the card that night? Who else is on that card?
What?
Who else is on that card, if I mind asking?
I believe the current H2O heavyweight champion Ron Mathis will be on the show.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Who else? I know Teddy Hart's going to be there. Kimberly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So they're doing big things over there, and
that's cool.
They seem to really be putting a lot of effort in, and bringing in talent and just trying to put their best foot forward and put on the best product they can, and to just be a part of that and be a part of that process has been an absolute honor.
But you know what? Let's get right to it. You know what your home is now? H2O, my friend. H2O is it? You know what I mean? After seeing
I would. You know what? I got to be honest. That's something that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, I'm not quite in there full time yet.
I know, but I just saw the poster. Did you see that post? 4. 4. The 4th is now, so, hopefully.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. The first I seen it was, like everybody else.
Yes.
But if I could be a part of that, that would be awesome. But who knows? We'll see.
All right, Matt, you heard it. You heard it tonight, Matt. So,
Yeah, no, H2O is another place that
welcome. Actually,
I admire a lot.
Because
I have great respect for Matt Tremont and everything he's done over his career, and that he has a promotion of his own. To just be a part of it, and the few times that I have been, it's been really cool. I've actually started training at the H2O Academy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the place I trained at, last year. Went away. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'd been trying to, find a place to go to, and I feel like I found one. They're treating me very good there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's been, I just like going there. I feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's a wide open space. It's great. That building is really, it's great.
Oh yeah, it has a very.
I mean, Matt is running so many cool. It's open to any promotion. That's pretty cool. I love it. That Matt lets anybody go there and have a show. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They just ran.
It's a very nice building. It's a very good building to run a wrestling.
And I'm going to shout it out tonight. I guess Raise the Bar Wrestling had their first event over there. So big shout out to them for doing bringing the hip hop wrestling style to Williamstown.
Oh right. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard it went really well too.
It did.
Good for them.
I know. But you never know what comes in. Death matches. We get that all the time, though. That's our biggie. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Death matches are. There's something else, man. There's something else.
It's actually, what is it? October 20th, man. It's coming up fast.
The deathmatch extravaganza. That's looking like a hell of a card that they're putting together there.
Would you love to come, or you might come, or you never know.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm not a part of the show, that's for sure.
You
but
could come and
I might, hang out and watch the show because it's something that looks very, very good. And anytime I have a chance to support H2O, I'm game. So I might just be there. I'll be sitting in the crowd with you guys.
That's all right.
But,
sit there with me and yell.
Yeah, there ain't no problem with that.
Yeah, it's a really stacked card, and it's gonna be a fun night. Fun night.
Yeah, and the Return of the Awakening. That's gonna be.
That's a surprise. I think everybody was glad to see that came back. The Awakening, G Raver, and Stockade, and Matt Tremont.
Right.
The Bulldozer.
Yeah, I
Father Tremont. Excuse me.
Wow.
Father Tremont. We got to say Father Tremont.
Yeah, Father Matt. I was following that when they were doing it.
Yeah.
What is it, a year or two ago now?
What's
and,
that? Yeah.
I feel like they kind of they didn't even they could have had a longer run. Yes, it's unfortunate that it got cut off when it did, but I feel like there's a lot of legs still left on that.
But you know what? They relive. They relive and rise again. It's like the Undertaker's old rise again. Come on.
The Undertaker's done that quite a few times, hasn't he?
He has, and look where he is now. Still going, still walking. Right? I think.
God bless him. I got to be honest. That man is something else.
Yeah.
He's almost 7 foot tall. Couple hip surgeries, and he's still out there doing it.
I know. It's
that's
crazy.
Something that's admirable. That's one tough guy.
He really is. Yeah. So anyway, what deathmatch wrestlers influenced you when you were younger? Or how did you catch on to deathmatch wrestling?
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't really follow it too much prior to me getting involved in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was a little. I'm 28 years old, so when ECW was at its peak, I was a little young.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't really. I watched it, but not nearly as much as some people have. You know what I mean? And it would be more of I really started to be able to follow it when they got on TV for the year that they were.
Yeah.
And by then they were a little toned down. When I got into professional wrestling, I started training about a little over 4 years ago. Over 4 years ago, I started training, and that's when I started to become a little more familiar with deathmatch wrestling and And, you know, you see people like Matt Tremont, like Stockade.
Jeff Cannonball.
Yeah, Jeff Cannonball. You know, like there's guys that, I've seen and admired from a distance, so to speak. You know, and then like one of the people that I trained with, I don't know if you're familiar with Joe Attell. You know, he's somebody that was a part of the school I was a part of, and he was really into it. So, you know, just seeing, like, you know, the knack he had for it kind of started to turn me on to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just one of those things, man, I really can't explain it. I don't know how
you
things
just loved it.
started happening.
You just loved it. You live for the moment of the first trip. You know, the first.
You could say that, because, like,
drop of blood.
You're asking me now, I really think, I don't even have a real answer as to when or why or how. It just started. Yeah. My career started to take me in a path where, like, it seems like this is the way it's going, and I'm more than okay with it.
Yeah. But you know what? Hey, you're not scared. You know, it's fun. It's fun. It really. I mean, you guys really. You know, it's you know, it's an art. Actually, it's an art, and we all know that. You know, and it's the way it is
in its own way. It's definitely
presented.
And you know, it's one of those things. I don't know, man. It's just you know, the few times that I have gotten involved with, like, you know, weapons and things like that, I've had a, you know, really, you know, sick as this is, I've had a good experience, and I've had you know, fun,
like hardcore, like when hardcore wrestling was hardcore wrestling, you know, right?
There you go.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's really the way it started. People really, they don't really look back and think, you know, ECW had the hardcore. You know, they were the ones to put it on the map. You know.
Well, yeah, there was I guess as far as America goes, the OGs and really brought something more. I guess, you know, they kind of brought it to the mainstream as they could have, I guess you could say. And
but then I guess Japan took it as the death. You know, as the extreme.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Japan was doing it for a while before.
Yeah. That's right, because Leatherface was doing it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm not crazy knowledgeable of it.
No.
When I was a kid, the main stuff that I followed was, you know, the stuff that was accessible, the WWF and the WCW. But I was familiar with some people from ECW, like Taz and Rob Van Dam and Sabu, because somebody that lived up the block from me actually used to collect all the magazines, and he would tell me about these guys. And I remember when we were like 7 or 8, he put me in the Taz mission. I had no idea what it was.
Right.
But so, you know, that's how I started to become a little more familiar with those guys. And you know, I guess as a kid, you gravitate to, especially you know, just what's accessible. You know, like I didn't, you know, and back then there was no internet. At least I didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, I know. It was pagers. It was pagers.
And that's why, right? I think that's one of the reasons why wrestling is doing so well now too. Is everything is so easily accessible. Like all you got to do is go on YouTube or whatever it is, Google. Type whatever you're looking for, and there it is.
Google, Wikipedia.
Google, you know, Google's a hell of a tool.
It is. Wikipedia. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Wikipedia, they don't always tell the truth.
No, they don't.
But yeah, that's another, like any form of media. Like an outlet, like, you know, there's so much to
cage match wrestling.
There's so much information out there. Like, you don't have to rely on Monday Night Raw anymore or whatever it is.
You could read about cagematchwrestling.com. You know, that's fantastic source for all your, you know, knowledge to search and do your research on people. You know, the wrestlers and managers and, you know, anybody. It's crazy, you know.
Yeah, no, I think I actually have like a record on there.
Yeah.
I think it's only from my Dojo Wars appearances, though. And they probably have one of the worst pictures of me ever in existence.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
It was, I think that picture they have of me, was probably my first or second match.
Right. And then they grabbed it.
Back in the old FSW Ludus days.
Yeah. The Ludus days. I'll have to check that out. Read that just for the hell of it. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so who trained you?
I was trained. I went to Joel Maximo's Ludus Wrestling School in Brooklyn, New York, and my original trainer
Joel Maximo.
was,
wait a minute.
What happened?
I know that guy. That sounds familiar. That name. Maximo.
Joel Maximo, he was part of the SAT.
SAT, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, the originator of the Spanish Fly, which you see a lot of people doing nowadays.
Yes. Jersey All Pro. I was Jersey All Pro days. Jersey
original
All-Pro.
Ring of Honor days, original TNA days.
Jersey All-Pro, PWU,
Yep.
and
he was all over the place.
he was Phoenix Championship Wrestling in Toms River, New Jersey.
Right.
I never forget.
I have long said that him and his brother
Yeah.
is one of those things. It's like if the WWE is looking for then what they're looking into now,
Uh-huh.
him and his brother would have been signed in a heartbeat.
Exactly. Them and Christopher Street Connection,
Yes, yes.
Double
But
C.
when I first got there, he was hurt. He had an arm injury.
Right.
So the person that trained me for the first, 5 or 6 months of my training, exclusively almost, was a man by the name of Superstar Whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
He's a part of a team called the Zolter, and they actually just had their first match Beyond Wrestling this past weekend.
Oh, cool. How'd they do?
Yeah. Him and his partner Chris Cage, I gotta be honest, man, those are two guys that are, hopefully starting to get a little bit of love, and it's long overdue, for me.
Yeah.
But Whiplash was the guy that, he really put me in a position. You know what happened, man, is they were open Monday through Saturday, from 12 to 8, and I had just gotten laid off from my job almost, pretty much around the same time. So I was collecting unemployment, and I was going to the school, and I was going every day.
Yeah.
And it would literally be me and Whiplash every day for a while by ourselves. Just me and him in the ring.
Yeah.
Because some people wouldn't show up till later at night. And, I really credit him with putting me in a position to be able to put on a match, relatively quickly and get, I was wrestling on shows within 5 or 6 months of training, and a lot of that has to do with him.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. He's a big influence on my career thus far, and somebody that and same thing with Joel. Once Joel got in there, I learned something. Joel Maximo is such a good trainer.
Yeah.
He's a very good teacher, and I wish he was still doing it because I learned a lot from him. The main thing I got from him is footwork. That's the main thing he would really
work you on.
Yeah, a lot of it was footwork, because again, he trained a lot of lucha stuff. To do lucha, your footwork has to be on point. And a lot of the stuff we would do in training as far as spots go would be a lot of lucha spots, drags and just running and a lot of good stuff. But creating space, I learned that was a big thing that we learned there.
Now you look at these guys now doing it. It's like, wow, right? All this lucha stuff, it's amazing. It's styles.
Well, wrestling is cool too. It's almost I look at it almost like I guess how MMA has evolved.
Yeah.
If you look at the early days of MMA, like the first UFC show, they would do things that would be like a trained boxer versus a kickboxer, or Muay Thai versus Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And now everybody who has learned everything, and they all put it together. And it's the same thing with wrestling. Look at a guy like Seth Rollins. He does the high-flying stuff, but he could do a lot of, he could brawl, he could do a lot of technical wrestling. He does all of it. And I think that's just the way the wrestling business has gone, is everybody, for the most part, has learned different facets of everything. And I think it's helped tremendously to put on the in-ring product.
Yeah, and go to Mexico or go to California or for Lucha Underground, or go to one of those private schools and just train. It's awesome.
Yeah, and even locally, people look at G Raver, he's a deathmatch, god almost, but
he's
very talented. He's a very capable performer, even when not put in the deathmatch setting.
Just think he's gone to Mexico and showed it off at DDTU.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's somebody too. That I think is. I've been in the ring with him once before, and I would love to do it again. But he's vastly underrated. He's another one I think should get a lot more love than and he's starting to. I feel like he's starting to.
Another guy, Shellac, also. Crazy.
Shellac is a maniac, and
he
he's
is
very
a maniac.
entertaining. I didn't know too much about Shellac until I guess it started to blow up, obviously, and I don't know. The thing that gets me about him is, he's a huge dude, but if you ever seen any of his promos,
they're great. Just great.
They are, and they're very entertaining, and for somebody of his size and stature, and to look at him, he has a lot of charisma, and he's very entertaining.
Yeah, he is. Another guy's Casanova Valentine too.
Casanova.
Jeez. Yeah.
I messaged him a while back, and pretty much I kind of thanked him in a way, because look at the way he's done things, man.
I know.
He's doing it his own way.
And he's
he's somebody that
and he has the title.
Booked, you know what I mean? And he just put it in his own hands and said, "Screw it."
And he's got a title on his shoulder. Title on his shoulder from Canada. Come on, that's awesome.
Right, he was the definition of. I know Stockade said it the other, recently at a Facebook post, but I told him that a long time ago too. The definition of DIY in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's somebody that I'm glad that it's starting to work out because I don't ever met him either, but he's one of the nicest people he ever.
He is fun. He's awesome behind the just to be out there and just talk. It's great. He sits in the crowd too with you. He'll watch and laugh, and it's great.
Yeah, no, he. You know what? Like I said, I met him.
Yeah.
I don't even. It was years ago, but from the day I met him, he's been super nice to me, and you can tell he's a very good guy. I'm super happy for him and everything that he's got coming his way right now.
You never know. He might just turn that bar into a full-time show. You don't never know.
It seems like that's exactly what's going on. Like he's really, you see it. Like a lot of other places are doing it even without him.
Yeah.
And it seems that he started a bit of a trend, and good for him and good for that. That's just another avenue for guys to apply their craft. And
Marcus Crane too, like him. There's a guy too that's really made his name for himself.
Yeah. It's just another. It's just encouraging to see, even for somebody like me who, maybe I'm not, booked as much as I would like, but to see stuff like that, it's like, all right, you know what, I think it's possible, and things can happen.
Things can happen. And,
think about it. Started off as an idea to have a match with somebody in a bar. Who knew?
Yeah, who did that? Oh, that's Stockade. Let's see, G-Raver, Cannonball, Connor, right? Who else? Joey Janela.
He did it with a lot
Penelope
of people.
Ford.
I know the first one was with Joe Attell.
Yeah.
That was the first one, and that's the first I ever heard of it.
Yeah.
And to see where it's taken off now, he's going all over the country doing it. So
I know.
Much respect.
Yeah,
much respect to Castro.
I know he does a lot of that in Florida. He goes to Florida a lot. That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
What do I think?
Like I said, it's just very encouraging.
It is. It's a trend, and it came to a different level. For people to look at.
Oh yeah, it's again, and you got to figure too, you're probably turning people onto wrestling that's never seen wrestling before, because if you go into a bar, chances are you're not going to meet too many wrestling fans.
No,
because most people, when you meet them on the street, it's like, oh, WWE, and they don't even know about half this stuff.
Yes,
most of it's going on outside.
Exactly.
So to show them that might get people that are, of the age range, to really. Yeah, to hook them, because that's again, deathmatch wrestling is something to behold.
Yeah, I know, and it's traveled the world. Just think about it; it's everywhere. It's
and to witness it up close.
Yes, like as it's like myself. Going to the shows all the time and just taking it in. It's like, wow, there's a lot to it, and people don't realize it's awesome. It's an adrenaline.
Oh yeah,
it's an
adrenaline. It's like I said, I think that's part of what's drawn me to it. Also, it's chaotic. You know what I mean? And the first time I ever watched the first show I ever went to. Here's a story. The first show I ever went to on the Indy show was a show at the Ludus FSW.
Yeah.
It was like the day before I started to train. I went there to give the guy my money and start. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things I seen was somebody get put through a flaming chair.
Oh, jeez.
And for some reason, it kind of was like, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
Being a part of that one way or another, whether it be going through it or putting somebody through it. That was something that caught my eye. Mm-hmm. And I'll remember that to this day.
That's awesome. Wow. Can you imagine, that's like the 3D, that's like the flaming tables way in the back of the day,
Yeah, no, it was definitely, the funny thing about it, though, is that building, the one I trained in, is something very similar to the H2O building, but it was a little smaller.
Right.
And there was only one way in and one way out, and it was on the other side of the ring from where I was.
Yeah.
And so it's like something would have went wrong, I probably believe would have died, because there was nowhere for us to go.
No.
But, so thinking about it now makes me laugh, but that's just, that's professional wrestling, right?
Professional wrestling, you could jump off anything, anywhere now. It's amazing, too,
Yeah, today there's no limits anymore. But you know what? Again, it's created, it's exciting to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, so what kind of, as a fan growing up, what was your, what would you go to? Like ECW or...
No, as a fan, the main stuff that I watched WWF.
Yeah.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart.
Right.
Yeah, that's my guy. You know, to this day, like if you ask me who my number one is, it's always going to be him.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up, you know, and my first memory of wrestling that I kind of sit back and tell you is probably when Lex Luger body slammed Yokozuna on the U.S. Intrepid.
Oh shit!
For some reason, I remember that.
Yeah.
You know that, and then like a year or whatever after that, when the Undertaker came back, Undertaker versus Undertaker.
Yeah.
Those were like, you know, as a kid, those were my two earliest memories.
I know.
And you know, like that's one I was watching. Again, like I said, it was accessible. You know what I mean? I'm sure if like I was a kid growing up today, I'd probably be
still say,
be crazy into the deathmatch scene and everything else, just because you know it's easy to get a hold of this stuff nowadays.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, it's not like
you know, at 5 or 6 years old, I'm not, you know, there's no tape trading going on my end or anything.
No,
like that, you know what I mean?
no phone calls to mom saying, "Hey, record this for me today, would you?"
Yeah, you know what? My mom, for some reason, you know, she was very. She was not a fan of ECW.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that she had heard about it, which probably was exaggerated to an extent. But I remember her specifically telling me one day she did not want me watching it. Now, of course, you know, I would try to go out, you know, sneak around that whenever I could.
Yeah, you gotta get away from it.
Yeah, but you know, when I was, I remember her telling me not to watch that because you know the information she had gotten about it was not positive. You know, so she didn't want her 5 or 6, 7-year-old son to be watching. You know, people get busted open with cheese graters and flaming tables and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
carpet strips now.
You know. So, like I said, growing up, I was a WWF guy.
Yeah, I think everybody, you know, we all, you know, as a fan, me too, you know, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, come on, you know, like Paul Orndorff.
You know, that's a little before my time as far as his, like, prime.
Yeah.
But, like, I watched so much wrestling when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That I had a lot of videotapes, and I knew all about him, you know, from an early age, and he was somebody I always liked too. He was very crisp, you know, and I looked at, you know, as a kid, I'm not looking at, like, you know, how crisp he was, and, you know, it's such a beautiful arm drag, I'm just, you know, he's just a prototypical baby face.
Right.
But, you know, you watch him now, and, like, it doesn't look like he ever made mistakes.
No, he's training a lot of guys still, and, you know, that's awesome. He's still doing his...
Ricky Steamboat is one of my favorites to watch nowadays, just because of how good he really was.
I mean, he got into Ring of Honor and helped, CM Punk a lot, you know? That was, like, he's...
Yeah, no, you know, I think he's helped a lot, because I think he was a trainer in the WWF for a while, too, or was he an agent? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But he is somebody that, you know, like, I would love to just, you know, sit around something he says for a little while just to soak in some of that knowledge, because you know, he's another one that, you know, like I said, I just watch him and it's just it's awe-inspiring how good he was.
Yeah.
And you know, probably how good he probably still is, to be honest with you. He's probably still better than
he can still probably kick our asses, right? You know?
Probably, man. You know, you seen that match he had with Jericho a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably more than a couple of years ago now, but
yeah.
But even, you know, he was well into his 50s and 60s, and he was killing it.
But that match with him versus Savage, man, that was the match to always talk about, you know?
That is, even to this day, you can go back and watch that, and it's so good and yet so simple. You know, if you look at what they did, they did maybe 15 to 20% of what people do nowadays.
You know what I ended up...
They got so much out of it.
You know what I ended up doing one day? There was a show, you know, Game Changer Wrestling had a show in Pennsylvania, right?
All right.
I went to my local flea market, and I found that magazine, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, with him on the cover, you know, for like $10. I got it. I was like, this is awesome. I want to have him sign it and have a moment, you know, to talk about and, you know, be there.
Right.
You know, and he was like, damn, you know, he was impressed to see like his face reaction, you know, to see himself on the cover, you know, and talk about that match and, you know, in general. It was like, wow, you know.
Yeah, and you know, it's crazy too, because, you know, he's had a couple matches in his career that are, I guess you could say legendary, that I didn't listen to. You know, he had that series with Ric Flair that, you know, something else that people still talk about to this day because of how good it was.
Right. And
again, if you watch those matches, man, they didn't do a lot. I mean, they wrestled for a long time, but like everything was so simple. You know, and it's you know, again, they got the desired reaction over such, you know, it's just really based on emotion.
Yeah.
which is something that, at least for me, that I admire, and that's something that I would aspire to get to is, you don't have to, go out there and do 8,000 million spots and move 1,000, minute, feet a minute and still really get the audience like that. Like that's something special.
I like a guy like you. You don't want to, would you like to be on TV or not be on TV? It's the indie scene is really just the market, be honest.
Well, yeah, and the thing is about the indies, and it's not like, people are going crazy, like, for no reason. Like, you got to figure, too, especially when you go into a place that that's unfamiliar with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to go all out to get over.
Yeah. But
it's not like you're on TV every week and get all this exposure where you have a built-in audience that just knows everything already about you.
No.
So you could, you get that emotion just by walking out. Some places, like if I go to Virginia tomorrow, and nobody there is going to know who the hell I am, probably.
Yeah. And they'll be like, wow.
So I have to work.
Yeah.
I have to
show the crowd who you are, and they'll be like, wow.
Right. So.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's like a double-edged sword, though, sometimes watching wrestling nowadays. Like, I'll watch some of it, it's like a lot, but at the same time, it's sometimes what you got to do.
Yeah, you're going to have some spots with the nasty boys, because you're going to be like, oh, man, what did I get myself into? Those guys.
What happened? What was that inside?
I said, you're going to have some spots with them, probably with the gymnasties, where they're going to really, you're going to be like, oh.
Oh, the gym, yeah. We actually had a match with them last month, and it was very, very good, very good. Mm-hmm. And, they're very talented.
I know, very humorous and very just funny. They're great. They're great guys. They're just.
Oh yeah, they're entertaining, and that's the main thing. Like if you watch them, even in the ring, or you just watch some of their promos, they're funny dudes.
They really are,
and they know how to connect to an audience just by being who they are. And I'm looking forward to this match. It's no disqualification. So
nope. Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Right up your alley.
Well, that's the plan, is to bring something there to let them know who I am.
Yeah.
So
Rapidshare round. Somebody said.
What?
I said wraps a couple chairs around a couple heads, you'll be all right.
Yeah. You know what? That's the plan.
But
give some chairs, tables, maybe some thumbtacks, and whatever.
If they allow it, right?
Give them the blessing.
If they allow it, I hope they allow that.
Well, that's the thing. They have to give the green light.
Yeah.
A lot of nowadays, especially in certain places, you can't just go buck wild.
No, you can't.
You have to get the okay.
I know.
For certain things, but I plan on at least fighting for all that. So.
Yeah. Well, hey. If not, just brawl all over the place and have fun, It's all about...
That's the thing, too, man. Yeah. It's just to create a fun show for the fans and to have a good time doing it.
Right. Hopefully I could see some footage from that or something. Or maybe you could ask somebody, Maybe somebody could see.
I'm sure it'll be recorded by somebody. If it's not, if it's not the company, I'm sure one of the guys will have, somebody record it. And, and hopefully we can get all that footage out there, because that's something, like I said, I'm very excited for this, and I think it's going to be very good. Mm-hmm. And I want the world to see it.
Yeah, because you want to show who you are,
Yeah, that's the way that, social media is the way to go nowadays. Mm-hmm. That's how, you get your name out there.
This is why I do this podcast is, I'm a fan. I love wrestling. I want to just introduce people into the world of wrestling and get them noticed, and it doesn't matter if I make $1 or not, I don't make $1. I just spend my money to get my name out there and help you guys, it's just fun.
Oh, I speak for myself. I most certainly appreciate it.
I'd like to have your partner on sometime. How about arranging that sometime? I'd like to have.
We could definitely arrange that. AJ Spectre. We'll definitely get that arranged.
I'd like to talk to him.
He's actually right now, as we speak, he's upstate New York, going to school to be a doctor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so soon enough we'll be calling him Dr. Spectre.
There you go. Dr. Spectre comes to the ring.
Yeah.
Like what, Dr. Hertz, right? Like the old Dr. Hertz.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that guy?
Yeah. So, he's doing big things in his personal life too, man. And it's it's definitely, again, he's one of my best friends in wrestling. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Meaning, obviously, we travel a lot together.
Yeah.
And we're trying, just trying to get our names out there to work for as many places as we possibly can, and just bring our tag team to as many places as we possibly can, and really take it up a notch.
Well, I'm gonna talk to my friend who runs that Jersey Premier Championship Wrestling. Maybe for the next event. How about that? Let me see what I can do.
All right, listen.
Let me see
if
what
that can happen. We'll
I know.
Be there.
I mean, it's a brick town show. It's great. Brick, New Jersey's an awesome place for wrestling. It's a
and you know what? It's right over the bridge. Anytime I can get closer to my house.
Yeah.
I live on Staten Island, so.
Yeah.
Anytime we can,
I'm right in the middle of town.
2 hours.
That's it used to be the town for wrestling way back in the heyday, Like, people really, Brick was known for wrestling, Tom's River was known for wrestling, It's crazy. Just crazy.
Oh.
I know.
That's appreciated, my man.
But hey, Cyrus, where can everybody reach you on the internet? And when we'll set something up, maybe we'll talk again. Or maybe I'll see you soon. How about that? Maybe I'll see you in October.
Hopefully,
I'll share,
like I said, I'm going to
share a beer with you or something. How's that? We'll share a beer at the show. How's that?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I don't drink.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just bullshit.
Yeah. I used to be pretty bad with it, so I just refrain from doing it now. I will. While you drink a beer, I will drink a Red Bull.
Okay. Or I'll buy you a Red Bull. How's that?
All right. There you go. But you can reach me at Cyrus DeVille on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook.
Cyrus, I want to say thank you for being on, and we'll talk again.
All right. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
You too. Wow, fans, that was awesome. That was a real down-to-earth wrestling guy. I mean, he's out there. Cyrus is, one of those guys that you just got to go say, hey, go watch him wrestle. I mean, he's something special. And, he's got a lot going on for himself with his tag team partner. And H2O, shout out to H2O, Matt Tremont, for bringing this guy to his, the first time we saw him in the Subterranean Volume 3, and he was something special, fans, to see live in person. And, if you're ever in a H2O show, he's around. And other events as well. So check him out. He just said his social media. Thank you, fans, for listening, and have a good night. Tune in tomorrow night. What's tomorrow night? Tune in tomorrow night as I'll be on the Everett Lee Show live with his guest, pro wrestling photographer Walter Palmer, and we're going to be talking about a lot of wrestling photos and much, much more pictures from lots of venues and where he's been. It's going to be neat. So stay tuned. I'll be on Facebook. I'll be on Twitch with that live. So stay tuned for that tomorrow night. And on Friday night, fans, tune in to the Deathmatch Russell podcast because I'm going to have the Prince of CMD, Deshaun Fradd on. So stay tuned, fans, at 8 p.m. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchRussell.com. Follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32 and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at PodcastCity.net. Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.